Hello students, and welcome to the lecture on production planning and control. After the lecture, we will be able to learn the following objectives. Describe the concept of production. Explain the role of Industrial Revolution. Describe scientific management. Understand the human relation movement. Explain computers and advanced technology in the production process. Definition of production management and production planning. Understand production planning and control departments. Explain the objectives, scope, and importance of production planning and control. Describe the limitations of production planning and control. Let's start with a brief introduction to production planning and control. Production planning and control is a tool available to the management to achieve the stated objectives. Thus, a production system is encompassed by the four factors. That is, quantity, quality, cost, and time. Production planning starts with the analysis of the given data. For example, demand for products, delivery schedule, etc., and on the basis of the information available. A scheme of utilization of a firm's resources, like machines, materials, and men, are worked out to obtain the target in the most economical way. Let's discuss the concept of production. It identifies production as a process by which goods and services are created. Production function is that part of an organization which is concerned with the transformation of a range of inputs into the required outputs having the requisite quality level. Production is defined as the step-by-step conversion of one form of material into another form through chemical or mechanical process to create or enhance the utility of the product to the user. The Industrial Revolution gave birth to modern technology, a new system of production which is based on machines and factories. For the Industrial Revolution to happen, three things were needed: capital, to build the machines and the factories; raw materials, to produce the goods in the factories; market, to sell the manufactured goods. All three were needed in large amounts for the Industrial Revolution to kick off. Capital. After the Industrial Revolution started, the huge profits it generated could provide capital for further industrialization. That is, the process could become self-sustaining. But how was the process to begin in the first place? Where could such a large amount of money come from? Raw materials. The Industrial Revolution needed vast amounts of raw materials at cheap prices. Where were they to come from? Market. The East India Company started collecting revenue from India and then sending it to Britain. This provided the capital. It also started seizing raw cotton from the cotton farmers and sending it to Britain. This provided the raw material. Let's now move on and talk about the scientific management. Scientific management is nothing but a systematic analysis and breakdown of work into the smallest elements and rearranging them into possible efficient combinations. Taylor argues that the person selected for a job should fit the job and not be overqualified. The principles of scientific management were discussed by Frederick Taylor in what he called a struggle for control of production between management and labor. To control production, he developed methods for the measure and design of machining methods as part of a general plan for increasing the planning functions of management. Effects of scientific management. The immediate result of scientific management was a drastic cut in the cost of manufactured goods. This allowed goods to be purchased by more people. Also, scientific management allowed the raising of wages. The human relations movement refers to the researchers of organizational development who study the behavior of people in groups, in particular workplace groups.
Have you ever felt as if you were insignificant to your company? Did your work seem more concerned about profits and sales than your own job motivation, interests, and attitudes? For many years, companies ignored employees' own personal development. This in turn led to negative attitudes, high turnover, high absenteeism, and poor job commitment. When companies focus only on the production and profits of their business, they ignore the human behavioral issues of people. The human relations movement in organizational behavior focuses instead on the person as an individual and analyzes what motivates and cultivates their achievement in a work setting. Employee attitudes towards work became important to a successful company. Let's take a jaunt back in time to see how the movement became a significant part of organizational behavior. In the early 1900s, the framework for the human relations movement was being built. Companies realized that a monetary incentive was not the only factor to increasing production. Elton Mayo, an organizational psychologist, was the father of the human relations movement. He was the first to realize that worker output and satisfaction were linked to social factors, such as the way employees were treated on the job. The 1927 Hawthorne Experiment further proved the relationship between the understanding of worker psychology and output. In this experiment, psychologists developed a theory that additional lighting would have a positive effect on worker factory output. They increased the lighting, and they were correct, as production soared. In addition, the scientists lowered the lighting to a dismal amount, assuming that production would fall. Surprisingly, production increased even more, and this led to the discovery that the factory workers were overperforming because they knew they were being watched as part of the study. This result became known as the Hawthorne effect. The attention from the study made them feel important and resulted in better output. This solidified the acceptance of the human relations movement. Messy Chocolates has been in operation for over 10 years. They manufacture giant milk and dark milk chocolate bars nationwide. Their factory consists of 200 workers who produce the bars in 3 different shifts. The company pays a solid rate of $15 an hour. The company leaders have noticed that although their employees are well paid, the overall production is on a yearly decline. The Human Resource Department has suggested that the company adopt a human relations philosophy with their employees. They have completed an internal audit and will adopt 3 key elements of the theory, which are key work groups and teams, excellent upward communication, and superior leadership. Teams are an important aspect of the human relations movement. The teams are workers placed together, and the overall socialization of the individuals provides motivation and productivity. Upward communication is a necessity of the movement as it allows employees to offer feedback and communication to upper management. This allows the employees to feel that they can be vocal and valuable to the company's decision-making process. The last part of the movement revolves around providing good leadership through excellent communication and decision-making. Employees will feel motivated by having leaders who can offer mentorship and direction. Companies should focus on the human behavior side of employee dynamics to ensure a successful workplace. When companies focus only on the production and profits of their business, they ignore the human behavioral issues of people. The human relations movement in organizational behavior focuses instead on the person as an individual and analyzes what motivates and cultivates their achievement in a work setting.
Human relations is a school of thought regarding managerial approaches to workers. It asserts that issues such as worker happiness represent a more direct route to productivity than simple efficiency. The widely perceived view of human relations is said to be one that completely contradicts the traditional views of Taylorism. While scientific management tries to apply science to the workforce, the accepted definition of human relations suggests that management should treat workers as individuals with individual needs. Did you know the Industrial Revolution happened in Britain during 1775 to 1850? Now let's talk about computers and advanced technology in the production process. Computer-based control systems can be combined with manufacturing technology, such as robots, machine tools, automated guided vehicles, to improve manufacturing operations. Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP. In the 1990s, ERP systems gained popularity. The ERP systems, such as SAP and Oracle, provided massive software architecture to support key business functions, such as finance, accounting, and materials management, as well as production control. Automation of repetitive processes. The ERP software, combined with increased hardware processing speeds, has enabled companies to automate repetitive processes. Where 20 years ago, employees had to manually calculate production requirements for each item to determine what to produce, computer software now net forecasts and orders against inventory and schedules to project future inventory balances. Recommend solutions. Along with automating repetitive processes and calculations, computers generate recommended schedules and purchases to planners. The key output of an MRP system is a set of planned orders. Planned orders are calculated within the production and inventory parameters maintained by the planner and represent a view of what items and quantities need to be produced or purchased to fulfill demand. Exception-based planning. Another important aspect of MRP and APS software is the provision of exception-based planning. The literature on AMTS can be divided in two different fields, but all fields are interrelated, and those fields are adoption of advanced manufacturing technologies, investment of AMTS, selecting and assessment of AMTS, planning and implementation of AMTS, definitions and groups of AMTS, benefits and disadvantages of AMTS, groups of advanced technology in the production process. Advanced manufacturing technologies involve new manufacturing techniques and machines combined with the application of information technology, microelectronics, and new organizational practices within the manufacturing process. These hardware technologies have found wide acceptance in discrete manufacturing and in resource and processing sectors. Empirical evidence of productivity increases the results of the firm. Computer-aided technologies are similar to earlier conventional, non-programmable, fixed-cycle technologies because of their ability to increase machine uptime and produce high-volume products. Scale economies need to be competitive in mass markets and can thus be reached with computer-aided technologies. Disadvantages of advanced technology in production processes. Companies have identified some of the issues and problems arising from implementing an AMT project and discussed the following issues, namely the scope of the projects, simulation modeling, cell design, cell operational logistics, and labor issues in AMTS. Production management is a process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the activities of the production function. It combines and transforms various resources used in the production subsystem of the organization into a value-added product in a controlled manner as per the policies of the organization. Objectives of production management. The objective of the production management is to produce goods and services of right quality and quantity at the right time and the right manufacturing cost. Right quality. The quality of products is established based upon the customer's needs. The right quality is not necessarily the best quality. Right quantity. The manufacturing organization should produce the products in the right number. Right time. Timeliness of delivery is one of the important parameters to judge the effectiveness of production departments. Right manufacturing cost. Manufacturing costs are established before the product is actually manufactured. Now let's explore production planning. Effective production planning is essential in a manufacturing business and is the foundation on which the manufacturing organization operates. Production planning is a complex process that covers a wide range of activities that ensures that material, capacity, and human resources are available when needed. Order entry and production forecasting. Eliminate duplication of information. Entering orders once in the production scheduling system. It maintains consistent productivity data throughout the enterprise. Turnaround commitments are based on capacity. Resource planning. Forecast and plan labor resource requirements and machine capacity utilization. It helps in improving productivity through effective resource planning and reduced production costs. Production scheduling. Production scheduling based on priority assigned to each order. Automated job tracking and production reporting. Automated rescheduling of jobs not completed as scheduled. Order fulfillment. Reallocate production and resources between different machines and processing areas or across different plants. It improves customer service and on-time delivery. Caution. The manufacturing organization should produce the products in right numbers. Otherwise, if they produce in excess of demand, the capital will block up in the form of inventory. Planned production is a very important feature of the small industry. The small entrepreneur possessing the ability to look ahead, organize, and coordinate, and having plenty of driving force and capacity to lead, and ability to supervise and coordinate work. Production planning and control is needed to achieve effective utilization of firm's resources, to achieve the production objectives with respect to quality, quantity, cost, and timeliness of delivery, to obtain the uninterrupted production flow in order to meet customers' varied demand with respect to quality and committed delivery schedules, to help the company to supply good quality products to the customer on a continuous basis at competitive rates. Production control. In spite of planning to-the-minute details, most of the time it is not possible to achieve production 100% as per the plan. Factors that affect it are non-availability of materials due to shortage, etc., plant, equipment, and machine breakdown, changes in demand and rush orders, absenteeism of workers, lack of coordination and communication. Objective. The ultimate objective of production planning and control, like that of all other manufacturing controls, is to contribute to the profits of the enterprise. As with inventory management and control, this is accomplished by keeping the customer satisfied through the meeting of delivery schedules. Scope: production planning and control. Optimum utilization of capacity with the help of production planning and control. The entrepreneur can schedule their tasks and production runs and thereby ensure that their productive capacity does not remain idle. Inventory control. Proper PPC will help the entrepreneur to resort to just-in-time systems and thereby reduce their overall inventory. Economy and production time. The PPC will help the entrepreneur to reduce the cycle time and increase the turnover via proper scheduling. Ensure quality. A good PPC will provide for adherence to the quality standards so that quality of output is ensured. Let's now discuss the comparing production planning with production. The planning process within an organization is dynamic and continuous. It is nothing but deciding future courses of action of the organization well in advance so that executives at different levels will play their role as per these guidelines. In any organization, the following types of decisions are taken. Strategic decisions, which are taken at the top level of management. Tactical decisions, which are taken at middle level management. Operational decisions, which are taken at bottom level management. Strategic decisions. These type of decisions taken at this level are often highly unstructured in nature. Tactical decisions. This type of decision taken at this level is mostly semi-structured in nature. Operational decisions. These type of decisions are mostly structured in nature. Production planning and control has 3 phases: planning phase, action phase, and control phase. The planning phase. It has 2 categories of planning, namely prior planning and active planning. Prior planning means pre-production planning. This includes all the planning efforts which are taking place prior to the active planning. Action phase. Action phase has the major step of dispatching. Dispatching is the transition from planning phase to action phase. In this phase, the worker is ordered to start manufacturing the product. Control phase. The control phase has the following 2 major modules: progress reporting, corrective action. The production planning used varies from company to company. Production planning may begin with a product idea and a plan for the design of the product, and the entire production or operation system to manufacture the product. Volume of production. The amount and intensity of production planning is determined by the volume and character of the operation and the nature of the manufacturing process. Production planning is expected to reduce manufacturing costs. Nature of production processes. In a job shop, the production planning may be informal, and the development of work methods is left to the individual workman who is highly skilled. Nature of operation. Detailed production planning is required for repetitive operation. The variants in manufacturing approach are manufacturing to order, which may or may not be repeated at regular intervals. Manufacturing for stock and sell under repetitive batch or mass production. Now let's talk about establishing a production planning and control. Production planning and control is a process that comprises the performance of some critical functions on site. That is, planning as well as control. Production planning. Production planning may be defined as the technique of foreseeing every step in a long series of separate operations. Each step to be taken at the right time and in the right place, and each operation to be performed in maximum efficiency. Routing. Under this, the operations, their path, and sequence are established. Routing procedure involves following different activities: an analysis of determining what to make and what to buy, to determine the quality and type of material, determining the manufacturing operations and their sequence, a determination of lot sizes, determination of scrap factors, an analysis of cost, organization of production control forms. Scheduling. It means working out time that should be required to perform each operation and also the time necessary to perform the entire series as routed, making allowances for all factors concerned. Production schedule. The main aim is to schedule that amount of work which can easily be handled by plant and equipment without interference. Master schedule. Scheduling usually starts with preparation of a master schedule, which is a weekly or monthly breakdown of the production requirement for each product for a definite time period. Manufacturing schedule. It is prepared on the basis of type of manufacturing process involved. Scheduling of job order manufacturing. Scheduling acquires greater importance in job order manufacturing. This will enable the speedy execution of jobs at each center point. Loading. The next step is the execution of the schedule plan as per the route chalked out. It includes the assignment of the work to the operators at their machines or workplaces. Production control. Production control is the process of planning production in advance of operations, establishing the exact route of each individual item part or assembly, setting, starting, and finishing for each important item. Dispatching. Dispatching involves issue of production orders for starting the operations. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Production is a process by which goods and services are created. Some examples of production are manufacturing custom-made products like boilers with a specific capacity, constructing flats, some structural fabrication works for selected customers, etc., and manufacturing standardized products like a car, bus, motorcycle, radio, television, etc. The Industrial Revolution was built on the grave of the Indian economy. The Industrial Revolution was made in Britain. Taylor designed scientific management to resolve problems in the workplace. The effects of scientific management spread from the factory to everyday life. Production management deals with decision-making related to production processes so that the resulting goods or services are produced according to specifications in the amount and by the schedule demanded, and with minimum cost. Production control is the process of planning production in advance of operations, establishing the exact route of each individual item, part, or assembly, setting, starting, and finishing for each important item, assembly or the finishing production, and releasing the necessary orders as well, as initiating the necessary follow-up to have the smooth function of the enterprise.